Hey, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem HaKadosh, double honors to our apostles and elders, her great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So, there's a group of people who call themselves the Passport Brothers, as we all know. Definitely understand the concept behind it, definitely understand the reasoning behind it, and it definitely does show a lot. It shows that, for one, the West, right, the people in the West, the women in the West, they have been tainted, and that when men are saying that they're going to go and deal with women in other countries, that's saying a lot. So you definitely understand it. However, there are some misguided individuals, men out there who they truly do believe that when they go to these other countries, that like say like an Israelite man, he believes that he can go and find the kingdom of heaven somewhere else. Because for a lot of men, the kingdom of heaven is simply finding a beautiful woman who loves them for who they are, and they could just live in an area where they treat her like a king. That's what they believe. But the fact is, there is no kingdom of heaven on this earth that we can run to, no physical place. The kingdom of heaven is these scriptures for now. And then in the kingdom, when it's established through the power of Yahweh Shah, our Lord and Savior, then that's when we're really going to have all the things that we desire. As of right now, you're not going to find that. Now, going to other countries to deal with women or the tribes of the other countries, it'll just be lesser hell than dealing with an American woman. You could say a Babylonian woman. Hell, compared to what men have dealt with dealing with America, dealing with a woman of the other tribes in another country is considered heaven. It's considered light work, because there's still going to be stress, but it's just considered heaven to a lot of men. So, like the Dominican Republic, where the land of Simeon, as of right now, is, right, where our people are, mainly the Simeonites, a lot of men glorify and try to glamorize the Dominican Republic because of those women down there, because they're beautiful. And a lot of our men that go down there, they honestly do think that they're going to go down there and then they're going to live like a king, that they've now entered into the kingdom of heaven. But the fact of the matter is, all right, those women, they're wicked too. And you can't escape the curses no matter where you go as an Israelite man. You can't escape the curses. I don't care if you go to Tokyo. You got our people, I'm going to go to Tokyo. You're still an Israelite in the land of Tokyo, so you're still going to be treated as such. You're still under the curses. The fact is, we don't have a place that we can go to call home. It'll just be considered lesser hell. That's all. So you got a brother here who is a Simeonite, and he's dropping truth bombs on a Simeonite woman, and basically letting the brothers know, especially in America, that they ain't no different from no other woman. They just gonna, if anything, they're just gonna, to them, you're just a sucker. That's all. And if you go down there looking at them through rose-tinted glasses, you're gonna get used and abused, taken for what you got, and a lot of times you're gonna probably end up in a worse situation. So I'm gonna let him speak for a few minutes, because he's the one that's gonna really explain it, and it's a good video.
Being said behind closed doors or behind your back or even in front of you. Sometimes they might be talking a lot of shit in front of you on the phone to their mom or whoever, calling you all sorts of names, calling you an idiot, whatever, and you would never know because you don't speak the language. And two, you don't hang around these women long enough, because a lot of you guys just seek out P for P, right? Either that or some type of thing where she comes over for a day, she leaves. You're not around them long enough to understand all the sides of them, okay? Or different sides of them, I meant. All right, so this video is to protect my brothers, to protect my people, okay? Because I don't want you guys falling victim to the Dominican trap, okay? And I get it, guys. Dominican women are some of the most attractive women on the planet, okay? I will not deny that. They're up there with the Colombians, the Colombianas, and the Brazilian girls. They're up there. They're definitely up there. They got body and everything. However, it's a lot of attitude and entitlement that comes with them, okay? And I don't think long-term this is a good idea. I would compare Dominican women to African-American women here in the United States, okay? The same way y'all complain about the sisters here in the United States, well, you know what the equivalent to that is worldwide? That's Dominican women. Dominican women act the same way like the sisters here in the United States do. But y'all would never know that because you don't speak the language and you're not familiar enough with the culture, all right? So let me educate y'all real quick, okay? From the moment these women are born, their moms teach them and condition them to using men, okay? They teach them how to treat a man, such as serving a man, cooking for a man, cleaning for a man. So that's what y'all see. That's what y'all see, right? Obviously, because that's nonverbal. Okay, they're doing things for you. They're washing your dishes, washing your laundry, whatever, and you're like, oh my God, like Dominican women, they're the best. They're the best of the best. But you don't understand their language and you don't understand the culture. All right, there's another side to this you guys aren't seeing. Okay, it's a setup for the trap that eventually comes down the line. It might be in a year's time, 2 years' time, 10 years' time, whatever. But here's what I mean by that. As I said, these women from a very young age are taught to use a man. So they'll give you what you want, but at a cost. So you have to pay for a bunch of different things, okay? Cool, whatever. A lot of you guys got money, you'll pay for it, no problem, whatever, right? But here comes the problem. When you go back to the United States, guess what they're doing? 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, they're definitely cheating on you, okay? They got a local Dominican man that's out there that is giving her the joystick, if you know what I mean. They're out here going to Pound Town behind your back as you're paying for everything for this chick. You're supporting her. You probably are paying for the roof over their head, whatever. And she's out here getting pounded, face on the pillow, boogers and snot coming out as Raphael is clapping, okay? And that happens a lot in the Dominican Republic. Another trap that happens a lot in the Dominican Republic is the baby scam, where they'll get another man to knock them up, and they'll say it's your baby. They'll say, oh, you knocked me up, so now you got to pay for my lifestyle. You got to pay for everything. You got to support the child, right? They'll say it was you, when in reality, it was another man, and you would never know. Right? It happens to a lot of guys where they'll get a phone call from the chick and the chick will be like, hey, papi, I'm just letting you know I'm pregnant. It's your child. You got to support. Right? And if you say no, now you look like the bad guy. If you say yeah, now you're the fool. You're falling for it. And by the time you realize, it might be too late. You know what I mean? So they do this a lot in the Dominican Republic, okay?
So they're no different than the American woman. And I've always said that concerning that tribe, Simeon, because, you got a lot of brothers who's like, oh, Simeonite women. Like, look, they the exact same. They're literally Eve and they're literally sisters. Literally, they're the exact same. But Jake will fall for the appearance and the accent and the hair. But they're the exact same. The Simeonite and Eve, they're the same. They're literally sisters. You understand? But the fact is that down there they'll if you just a sucker to them, man. They'll use the fact that men got it bad up here, go down there, and they know that you there looking for love, and they'll use it against you. You know what I'm saying? The same old things. Because the fact is, a lot of men, they want to still believe in the dream. They want to keep the dream alive that they can go somewhere, and then the women will love them for who they are, and they can live kingdom of heaven. They're all the same, man. That's just the fact. It's just lesser hell. That's all. And if given the same opportunities, they'll all do the same things. They'll all do the exact same things. It's just their circumstances that prevents them from doing it. That's all. It's just like you had that Cooking with Kaya chick, right? She was popular for a minute, but then she everybody got upset because kind of found out she was at a party or something, and she was dancing with another dude, and they like, dang, that's messed up. You got a whole dude at home or whatever, because they thought she was different, but she ain't different. You put any one of those women in the same situation where you get them attention and they at a party or club, they gonna all end up doing the exact same thing. Okay, you bring one of those women over here on this side of the world, shall I say, and they got all these opportunities, and they get the ability to live here, and they got the green card and all that. They all gonna end up doing the exact same things. Ain't none of them special. You're still under the curses. And the only time we're gonna actually truly get beautiful women who actually love us for who we are, that won't step out on us or won't plot against us, is gonna be in the kingdom of heaven. So this is just for those out there who still want to believe in the dream that there is some place where we as Israelite man can go and be treated like the king and we're curses free. No. Now the Israelite man, especially Southern Kingdom, he is desired all over, which means we got options as men. But the fact of the remain is they still just women too. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in the kingdom of heaven yet. That's only going to be in the kingdom. The book of Amos 7 verse 7. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. That's a curse. Okay, it says, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by lion, and thou shalt die in the polluted land, and Israel surely shall go into captivity forth of his land. So your wife shall be a harlot in the city. First of all, she ain't a virgin by the time you met her. And even if you do find one, right, there's no telling. First of all, you don't know what women do when you're not around. That's why the best approach is to be as stoic, meaning you just prepare for the worst. And when or if you find out, you just like, hey, oh well, and move on to the next. But don't be like one of these suckers who want to believe in a dream and believe that they're going to go somewhere and find the love of their life. And a lot of people go to the Dominican Republic because they think that they're special or they're different. They're all playing a lot of these guys for suckers. Sirach 9, it says, be not jealous over thy wife, thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Okay, and you do know that in Dominican Republic, I believe prostitution is actually legal. That they had that one section, Sousa, S-O-U-S-A. And for some reason, I don't understand it, but you got men who would travel the world just to pay for it. To me, that don't make any sense. Travel just to pay for it. I mean, you might as well try to find you one to keep, if anything. But you got men to do that, and I believe that little area, Sousa or whatever, is literally the strip. It's like everybody knows it's going there to get some, you know. But guess what? Now you can fall into her snares because they all have a plan. It says, use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts. Okay? So the scriptures is telling you got to understand that they all have an ulterior motive. And you can fall victim if you don't got a head on your shoulders. If you're thinking with your small head instead of your big head, you can all fall victim. You know, another thing that's being found out is what? They have a high rate of STDs. Any place where you see all the Jake trying to run to, that's where the wickedness is going to be. Why do you think Texas, everybody, oh, I want to go to Texas. Oh, I want to go to Atlanta. Oh, I want to go to Florida. All these places you hear that everybody trying to run to. Why is our people trying to run to these places? Because they trying to live the best life. They're trying to find some place, good weather, and they can live it up. And guess what? Those are the places that's ridden with what? Disease. Okay? Any place where everybody's trying to go, I'm not trying to go. Because that's where you're going to find it, the disease. Okay. Right. So, well, let me see. Because if one thing that goes hand in hand is whoredom and sodomy, as Deuteronomy 23:17 will say, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Yeah, because they go hand in hand. So where there's one, 9 times out of 10, there's another. And what happens when you're living in a land and everybody's just doing whatever, where anything goes? Men sleeping with men, women sleeping with women, multiple sex partners, everybody's just doing whatever they want. Well, first of all, you're breaking the law of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. You're breaking the commandments. Okay? So naturally, what happens when you break the law, there is risk. And what can come out of that is those what? Diseases. So where everybody's trying to go to live a sinful life, basically, that's where the most evil is going to be. And that's what they get. Thinking you can run somewhere and thinking, I'll run to Texas. I'll run to Atlanta. I'll run to Dominican Republic. There I can escape the curses of of Deuteronomy, I can escape the curses of the Lord, and there I can live really a sinful life and just do whatever I do, and I don't have to worry about nothing. Oh, there's going to be plenty of evil there waiting for you as well. So look at that. Everywhere everybody's trying to run, you hear evil things about it. That's because there's no place for us to go, man. Especially as Israelite man, it'll just be considered lesser hell. That's all. As Romans 1:26 says, for this cause Yahweh gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, homosexuality, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And what's that error? Those diseases, man. That's the recompense for the error, for going against the law. And what happens to women who want to have sex with multiple men, prostitute themselves unprotected, doing whatever it is they want? They end up getting something too. And guess what? That's where people are going. Everybody want to go to Dominican Republic or Texas or Atlanta or Boston or Florida. That's where you hear them all spike it. And it's no surprise, because that's where everybody's trying to run to. Everybody wants to run to these same areas to live a sinful life and to just do whatever. So no, it ain't peaches and cream nowhere that you go. And those women, you got testimonies of men who've been in the DR, and one guy said, I know something's up when it's too easy. You got these, when they just throwing it at you. Like, oh no, she like, when they look that good and they just throwing it at you basically for free, is either a setup or they trying to get you something, right? So he like, look, I ain't falling for this trap. There's no way. You see? It ain't nowhere we can go as Israelite man to escape the curses. We got to wait to the kingdom of heaven. That's when our women are going to be cleansed, and that's where we can surely enjoy our women and not have to worry about the things you have to worry about today. You don't have to worry about her setting a snare, setting a trap. Back in Sirach 9 verse 5, it says, gaze not on the maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. Precious is precious. It says, give not thy soul into harlots, that thou lose not thine substance. And that's where men do. They go to the Dominican Republic just to give their life into the harlots. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to take you for everything you got, and probably give you something on the way out, because you're the sucker. Brazil too, they got movies about it. Like last movie I saw regarding Brazil is called Turistas. It's an older film, but that's what it's about. It's about travelers going down there to experience the good things, and they go to a party and then they wake up naked, and three of them are missing because they took them for everything they got, and they go down there to steal your organs. That's what the guy said. He said, you guys come down here, use our women, drink our wine. What do we get out of it? So they're going to go down there and they'll take your organs, man. You hear stories about that. And then in that movie, there was one guy slept with this woman, beautiful, dark-skinned Brazilian woman. And then at the end of it, she basically took his money. He was like, wait, I thought you actually liked me. She's like, no, I'm just for the money. So they'll play you, man. You know what I'm saying? So there is no place for us. And they'll all, if you go down there and you ain't got your head on your shoulders, they will use you and abuse you and send you packing, and probably take your organs on the way out if you're not thinking wisely and moving wisely. All because our people, especially the men, want to believe that there's somewhere that we can go to flee to escape the curses. Because at the very least, all men want, if they can go somewhere where the women love them and treat them like a king, that's the heaven for them. They don't care about nothing else. But the truth is, there is no place. We don't have that. You know? Verse 7, look not round about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire. Okay, so these women will keep performing the same old okie doke to the simple, who are led by the lust, and they don't think. They're just led by the lust of the flesh, right? And they'll fall victim over and over and over again to the snares of these women. Yeah, man. Only when the Lord comes back, that's when everything's gonna be um, good again, especially our women. All right. Malachi 4 says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch." And that's talking about America, the destruction to America. Verse 2. "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked, and they shall be as ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I do this, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts." So the Son of Righteousness being Yahweh Shai, he's going to come and he's going to bring healing in his wings. That's when our marriages are going to be fixed. That's when the land's going to be cleansed. That's when our women are going to be cleansed. They're going to literally be, their mind's going to be cleansed. Okay, all of us are. That's when we're going to get, that's when we're going to be actually able to enjoy the fruits of life, marriage and children and all that. Right? But right now, I talked to 2 Colombian women recently. They both came here. They don't speak no English. And I asked them, I said, "So what's the reason you come here?" And they was actually honest, because most people aren't hesitant to say, maybe they might be embarrassed of where they come from. She said, because it's dangerous there. It's dangerous there. She said yesterday, 6 people got killed. She's like, "I don't really hear that about here." It's like, "Does it happen here?" I was like, "Yeah, pretty much. You just won't hear the news." But she's like, "Yeah, it's just too dangerous there, man. I don't want to work. We don't want to raise our kids in that area." And I told her, I said, "It's funny." I was like, it's men from here want to go to Colombia to find a wife, and men here actually want to go to Colombia to find a wife and bring her back here." And she said, "Yeah." She said, "And the women there will marry those men just so that they can get the hell out of there," because they're trying to find a better life too. And that's really the motive behind them all. They're trying to live a better life, and they see you as a way to live a better life. Therefore, you would get better treatment, really up to a point. And as long as you understand that, and it's not because, oh man, they just actually love us for who we are. No, okay, that's not gonna happen until we get in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, because at the end of the day, all women want something, and they all want just to live a better life. And if they can see that they can get that through you, then they'll play ball, they'll play the game until they see that they can get out, and then they're gonna jump to the next man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna get that true love till we get in the kingdom. The only thing you can truly respect from your wife today is respect. That's the most that you can expect from them. And if they respect you, then they won't commit adultery, etc. But brothers who want that whole package, the whole Israelite package, and some of them even go as far as to try to force it, you're not going to get that till you get in the kingdom of heaven, man. So at the very least, on this side of the earth, the very least you can expect and really demand from your wife is respect. That's the most. You're not going to get everything else until we get in the kingdom. And there's no place you can run to try to get that. All right? Because at the end of the day, you're still under the curses. Psalms 144, verse 11. "Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children whose mouth speak vanity, and their right hand is the right hand of falsehood." That's talking about these Edomites, so-called white people. It says that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace. See? That our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep may bring forth thousands, 10,000s in our streets. So King David is basically praying for the kingdom of heaven. When we get in the kingdom of heaven, that's when our sons are going to be as plants grown up in our youth, and then our daughters, our women, they're going to be like precious cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace. You know what that means? I mean, everything about them is going to be beautiful. You're going to love everything about them. There's not going to be a single thing that you're not going to like about them. You ain't got to worry about them trying to set a snare, plot on you, deceive you. You ain't got to worry about that. We only going to get that truly in the kingdom of heaven. But as of today, you have to think with your big head, and you have to have your head on a swivel, and you have to act like you actually have a head between your two shoulders when it comes to these women. Because too many men out here are falling victim to the okie doke. So only in the kingdom, man, is we gonna really get what it is that we desire, especially from our women. Until then, don't think that there's a place you can run to escape the curses. Okay, if anything, it'll be temporary relief, but then that reality gonna set in that we need Yahweh Shai to bring that healing in his wings. Shalom.